from clarkwords.com. This is Horribly Off Topic, episode number 178. I'm Chris.
178?
178.
Well, I'm Steve, and that's a lot of episodes.
That is a lot of episodes, Steve. That's 78 more episodes than fit into our feed because of the way that Squarespace works. Squarespace is not a sponsor, not a sponsor of this episode.
I mean, if you need a landing page, I mean, Squarespace has got your your number.
It's got your butt covered. Got your butt and your crotch and your
But
teeth.
if you want to have more than 100 episodes of your podcast,
you better go find someplace else.
Yeah,
or be famous. There are people who host. There are people who have been hosting on Squarespace from like the get-go on their like 200, 300 episode length podcast, and somehow they get special treatment. I don't know how the fuck that works.
Well, we should have started this podcast back in like 2007.
Back in the day.
Or 2008 when like podcasting was like in its infant stage.
Yeah, when it was new again. I mean, it's had its infancy a few times. It's like Roy Moore's Girlfriends in that way. That joke.
Way to get political.
Didn't even make any sense. So I was out Christmas shopping yesterday.
Oh, you finally shopped? You officially shopped?
I officially shopped. And when I was at the mall, I was at the Pheasant Lane Mall. Not to get too local for you,
but that's where you were at.
I was at the Pheasant Lane Mall. It's important to the story that you understand that this is a mall named after a lane named after pheasants.
So basically, it used to be an old drive-in theater back in the early 80s. Well, prior to that, and then I think it closed in the mid 80s, and then they tore down the drive-in theater, and then they built the mall.
They built the mall,
and I think it opened like sometime in the late 80s.
Yeah, and it straddles the line of Massachusetts and New Hampshire, just like down the road, Ladies straddled my line at the what was that place called? Matthews, which is now
a pizza place.
A pizza place, yeah. It straddles that line. Just
called,
like we do.
It's called Big Sausage Pizza.
Big Sausage Pizza. I think it actually the pizza place that was there went out of business, and I don't know.
It's a new place now.
It's something new. It's not a strip club again, but it's
still not a strip club.
It's still not a strip club.
Is that the name of the episode? Jeez, wow! Right in the first 5 minutes.
I don't know. We might come up with something better. So anyway, I'm in the mall. I have gone to this episode isn't even going to come out till Christmas, so I can say where I was, even if my children are listening.
I hope they're not. Like I seriously,
because talk about
your older daughter
straddling me.
Your older daughter is getting to the point where like, I mean, what is she in middle school now?
She's 11. She'll be 12.
So she's like
March.
in 7th grade.
She's in 6th.
Okay, well, she's going to be in 7th grade.
She's going to be in 7th grade.
Okay, so she's getting to the age where, like, when we were 11, 12 years old. I think
we got up to some shit.
We got up to some shit. So I think she's about to get up to some shit. So
she is,
I'm sorry.
I know.
In advance for your
my soon-to-be 12-year-old getting up to some shit.
No, it's just like the amount of parenting you probably have to do pretty soon.
Yeah.
It's going to be like, there's going to be a vein coming out
I
of your
wonder
head.
what shit girls get up to, though.
I don't know. Like,
my wife seems like she had a pretty not innocent childhood, but she hasn't talked to me too much about the shit she got up to when she was 12. So
yeah, I remember.
Maybe girls don't. Maybe girls and feminine people who identify as female. I don't know. I don't know how to do that catch-all, but
there isn't a way.
There isn't a way.
You have officially offended one person, maybe more.
No, but what I'm saying, maybe not everybody. There's a way of putting it.
Yeah.
Right? That's where I was trying to get. Maybe not everybody gets up to the sort of weird sexual shit that.
No, I'm not talking about getting up to weird sexual shit. I'm just like getting up to mischief or something.
Oh,
like
okay.
Because I don't think like.
Yeah, weird sexual shit was later.
Yeah, that was later. Well, I don't even know if even calling it weird sexual shit.
No, I mean that was like finding the place for. I can't remember what that ad was, but somewhere. Have I told this story before? Somewhere down in the center one time. This is by the time I was hanging out at the comic book store, which was
probably 14, 15?
Yeah, so it's a couple miles down the road, or maybe like a mile and a half. I don't know. And I was walking back from the comic book store to my house, and passing through the center. It had rained recently, but there was a something that you would have seen in the insert of the Boston Phoenix. In their adult section.
All right.
But it was a pamphlet or something about a place. I don't know if it was places you could call or like people you could call to come to your place. It was something like that. And
Some
that
sort of like escort service or something?
It was something like that. It was one of the first things that quasi-sexual things that I got up to because at that point I had seen sort of pinup cards and things behind the counter at the store that were being sold to some of the more adult clientele. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I'd found my dad's porn stash at this point, but
how could you not have? It was extensive.
I'd found the Playboy stash, I think, but I don't think I'd found. So this is like when I'd found the magazine stash, but not the tapes yet.
Yeah, I don't know when. I don't know when John and I got into that.
Yeah. Anyway, but so I found that piece of paper on the, and I think so that accelerated things. It's like, holy shit, you can call up and either pretend to have sex with people on the phone or have them have sex with you. I mean, it kind of probably knew that shit was possible, but at any rate.
Well, it's possible, yes.
Yeah.
Legal,
no,
not so much for the latter.
Now you got me horribly off topic there, Steve.
Yeah, I sure did.
My daughter was getting up to some shit, I guess.
No, but like point. I don't know, like if you guys like anybody who is a female that is listening, or people that have daughters that are maybe a little bit older than Chris's age or Chris's daughter's age, what do these kids get up to? And I'm not saying like weird stuff. I'm saying like what the kind of mischief. What kind of trouble did they
steal
get?
Donuts, for instance.
Yeah, well, we did that when we were 19. So,
all right, so this is going to come out on Christmas, so I can say what is going on. My daughter's probably not going to listen to it because,
hopefully,
yeah.
That she's like that's that weird show that my dad does with Steve every week.
Well, and here's not to get too far ahead of ourselves, but here's two reasons why she's going to have a hard time. One, her phone stopped working yesterday, and I can get into that. There's a reason her phone stopped working, and she doesn't know the real reason. She's been told a fake reason at this point.
Basically, and then you have to call the phone company and be like, "What the hell's going on?"
Yeah, I have to call the phone company like I'm doing right now. Hello, phone company. What the hell's going on with my daughter's line?
Don't crack the screen, man.
And speaking of cracked screens, as we were getting ready, so she might have listened to podcasts on her phone. She still has Wi-Fi on her phone, so I guess she could get podcasts that way. And she might have listened to podcasts on her iPad, but she shattered her screen just as you and I started recording this. I got a text message saying she'd shattered her screen and she was distraught. So there's anyway. So she's probably not going to listen to the podcast, I think is the.
Let's all right. Let's just say that's very true.
So I can say that I went to the Apple store. That's why I was in the mall. I was going to the Apple store to buy my daughter a new phone. The day before she was going to shatter her iPad.
Hey, I'm just saying, Chris, I need a new phone. And right after Christmas Sugo Fest, I'm gonna have like no gems left.
No, man.
No, it's good. They finally are releasing the one where I can do I can do 6 multi-pulls in a row.
Oh, I just thought of something else I gotta fucking put on this list.
Treasure Cruise?
Fuck video games.
Oh, fuck video games.
And I'll explain why eventually, maybe.
Got my Christmas shirt on.
So I went to the Apple store. I went to go, and this is how it's going to go down, right? We paid off my older daughter's phone early, which meant that our bill went down, and we're budgeted for our bill to stay exactly the way that it was. So as a surprise, I was like, I'm just going to get her the new phone that she keeps talking about, a rose gold iPhone 7. And our bill will just go back up to what it was. It's not really costing us that much more.
And the 7s are on the lower end of the expensive spectrum as far as iPhones go at this point.
And then her phone, because her younger sister wanted an iPod Touch, which they're sadly outdated at this point, and we weren't going to spend that much money. My older daughter's old phone becomes an iPod Touch for my younger daughter.
Perfect.
All right, so
cut, print, perfect.
I'm looking around the mall for a pink case for my younger daughter's soon to be.
Do they have like a pink case kiosk?
They do not have a pink case kiosk. They've got a lot of stuff.
That's a good title. It's less raunchy than the other one.
Yeah, I don't even remember what the other one was. So I'm searching around the mall. I start at Target. I go all around. I end up back at Target. To basically, by the end of it, I find what I didn't see the first time, which was a pink OtterBox. Now,
OtterPop?
My kids like to drop their technology. Today was the first time that my older daughter has really dropped and shattered one of hers, but my younger daughter has shattered her iPad twice in the past. So it made sense for me to go ahead and splurge on an OtterBox, which is a very expensive protective case for this, especially since it was pink and that's the color she wanted.
Well, you don't have to be a little kid to drop your phone. Like Becky's mother just dropped it into fucking Lake Winnipesaukee.
Oh Jesus! Did she get it back quick enough?
I think she got it back quick enough, but then she broke it again, like on something else.
So my wife texted me right before we were about to start the show, saying my daughter thought that I would be really mad, and so we didn't start the show right away. I had them call me because I
went in and played some Romancing Saga 2 and got mad because that fucking game is way too hard, and basically you have to save after every fucking battle.
Fuck video games.
Not fuck video games, but just like the level of, at least there's the option of saving after every battle. If you couldn't save if you couldn't save anywhere in that game, it would be absurdly difficult.
Yeah. So I forget what my point was, but phone calls. I don't fucking know.
I don't know either, man.
I don't know, man. It was something. So I'm walking around the mall. I really want to know what the hell it was I was going to say just there about phone calls and whatnot. But I'm not going to go back and listen to when I'm listening back to this, I'll know exactly what the point was. They go, why did you forget?
And then you can bring it up next week, and then no one will know what the fuck you're talking about.
So when I end up back at Target the second time, I'm walking by and I notice that in this place right next to Target where there used to be a hair salon up until like 6 months ago or so.
Is there something there now? The last time I was there was nothing.
Now, Wow Family Entertainment Center. And it is a small arcade.
What?
It's not an arcade in the sense that like Dream Machine was an arcade, but it's got arcade machines in it. So it was like they couldn't think of something else.
I thought it was like Whip 'em Out Wednesday.
No. That's where everyone from Matthews has been waiting all this time.
No. It's actually where like since I don't think
them out at the mall.
I think Opie has now been fired from SiriusXM and Anthony has been. It's like they decided to like open up a different venture.
Oh.
And then Anthony's been very known to go after younger ladies. He's like a regular Roar Moore. That guy.
Regular Roar Moore.
See,
that one made sense.
Yes,
unlike mine earlier. Yeah,
I think the ladies that Anthony has gone after have been at least 18 though.
Oh, okay. All right.
So,
not
as shitty as Roy Moore.
Yeah. Well, speaking of, okay, so I was at a chorus concert this week, and my daughter's in middle school, as we were just talking about, my older daughter. And so
do they sing like they sing like Glee songs, or they do like
they do a lot of multicultural. It's a pretty good thing. They did somebody did a Hanukkah song, but somebody
was it the Adam Sandler Hanukkah song?
It was not. No.
Put on your yarmulke, it's time for something Hanukkah.
They were doing something Brazilian. They did.
It wasn't a Brazilian wax, right?
It was not a Brazilian wax. No, that's what they do at the Wow Family Center. Is they whip them out and they wax them out.
That's not a family fun center.
Well, that's what the moms are doing in the back, and the dads are doing in the back while the kids are playing the video game.
So
it's still like a haircut place. The moms are going to get the Brazilian wax. The dads are going to get the mustache wax.
Fun bags.
I don't know. The dads are getting the mustache wax so that when it's time to play Sit on My Face, they I don't know where any of this is going.
Yeah, I was just going to let you roll with that one.
Please don't. Please stop me. Please stop me. Well, I did suddenly have, I was trying to think of a wholesome couple thing. Not where they were cheating on each other, but it was like the wife was like, all right, fine, I'll go get the Brazilian wax. You need to deal with your fucking mustache so that if you're giving me cunnilingus, then
I don't imagine like unless you have really coarse mustache hairs. Then,
that's why you need. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying
the
husband in this case has coarse mustache hair, so he needs some wax to get that shit to not be so bad.
You mean putting wax on it?
Wax on,
or
wax off.
Wax it completely off.
Wax on it.
So some sort of like cream.
Some sort of cream to soften it up so that when his wife,
I don't think you need to go to
onto his face, it's not burning.
Like in this scenario, I don't think that like you need to go to a place to have somebody apply some like cream to your mustache. I think you can just go to. I think they probably have it at the Target next door.
Probably
like some sort of like because
in this place they have artisanal mustache wax and
beardos are abundant in this day and age, and so there's plenty of
probably plenty of mustache wax to go around.
Yeah, or beard care.
Okay, all right. So maybe nothing is going on at the WoW.
Or maybe they're just playing arcades. Do they have any pinball?
I don't know if I saw any. I saw the huge Space Invaders game. That was like near the window.
Okay, so it's just basically like
it's basically arcade. I mean, it's
like the
it's what you were complaining about a couple weeks ago, except it's in a storefront instead of just being out in the mall.
Yeah.
Okay, but I thought it was an improvement that it was in a storefront.
I was talking to a buddy of mine at work, and I kind of got him into I got him into the pinball bug because we had our work holiday something or other.
I gotta write down the chorus thing.
Work holiday thing last Wednesday, and so we went to Flat Top Johnny's, and there's a couple of machines there. We played a little bit, and I think he got the itch.
Yeah.
And
7-year itch.
No, he got the I want to play pinballs.
John F. Kennedy got the 7-year itch from Marilyn Monroe.
Marilyn Monroe?
I don't know. Do you think Marilyn gave him the 7-year itch? I mean,
that's another instance where you need to put a cream or maybe get a wax.
Okay. Or did Jackie give Jack the 7-year itch, and then he gave it to Marilyn, and then she went off and made that movie?
Right.
All right, sorry. So somebody got the itch.
Yes, and Chris, what do you want?
So your coworker got the itch for some pinball.
Yeah, and so we were talking
You just don't rub the pinballs on yourself, and then you don't get the itch.
You have no idea how dejected I am.
I do. I just saw the look.
No, but I'm just telling everybody that's listening, like how I was just like I just slumped my head, and that was just like, ugh. All right, so I was explaining to him, and at first he didn't believe me, so we had to find photographic evidence. But there are some machines, I think, that came out in the mid to late 90s.
That's when a lot of people came out, to be fair.
Well, a lot of modern machines, yeah.
That was a bad joke.
What?
I said a lot of people came out in the late 90s.
Sorry, I'm deaf.
No, it's all right.
Well, that's when it when it became more acceptable. It became not necessarily fashionable, Chris. It became more socially acceptable to be an out homosexual.
Yes.
So in the 90s is when people tended to be more comfortable to come out.
Yeah, and they should have been comfortable all along. This world sucks that they had to wait as long as they did.
Yeah. But I'm glad everybody that came out in the 90s and subsequently, hooray for you guys.
Yeah. So
I am going to finish this fucking story.
Hey,
it's not even a good there's not even a great ending to it.
Oh, there better be.
No.
At this point. Okay. Sorry. So you were explaining to him that some machines that came out in the 90s.
So some machines that came out in the 90s, so like there were like in most video games of that era, and pinball machines, it's like said that would have a message that flashed that said "Say no to drugs" or something like that.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
But there were some, and I think No Good Gophers and The Shadow were a couple of them.
Okay.
That said, "AIDS is real. Protect yourself."
Oh shit. Wow, that's
and I could show you. You use this as the image.
Fuck, that's some serious shit to drop at the arcade.
Here it is from The Shadow. There's some Alec Baldwin in the background on the back glass, and right below it, AIDS is real. Protect yourself.
I mean, that's what I want to see around Alec Baldwin's neck at all times. I just want a reminder in case I was thinking of sucking his dick that this is.
I don't think Alec Baldwin has AIDS. And I'm not going to perpetuate a rumor that he does.
No, I'm not trying to perpetuate a rumor. I'm just saying, like, even
I heard people are going to be like,
he doesn't. He has something. I'm just saying, if I put Alec Baldwin into my mouth, I'm getting bad. There's something bad is happening.
Well, yeah. If you are cheating on your wife to give fellatio to a man,
I guess that's what's bad.
Yeah. That's the bad thing.
Yeah.
And the more bad things would probably be
if I get him off
a splooge. Yeah,
it probably doesn't.
I don't know why.
I don't know. I don't know what he eats. I can't imagine that it would taste.
No, he eats cum. So,
so you are what you eat.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, all right. Okay. He's cum.
I got into a conversation with somebody once about how if you
about Alec Baldwin's cum.
No, if you were really hungry and with a friend, could you just eat each other's cum?
Oh,
until there was I
mean, there's protein in there,
real
right?
food in it, but the amount of energy that it.
To expend the cum. I mean, to generate the cum.
Generate and get rid of it.
Generate and disseminate.
Yeah, generate and disseminate the cum. would the amount of cum that you ate from the other person be enough to keep you alive?
Yeah, and what conclusion did you come to?
We're like, this is a really dumb thought, and we're not even high.
All right, so I gotta tie something up that came up a few minutes ago.
The chorus.
So you made a Roy Moore joke. And
was he there?
He was not there, but I wouldn't have been surprised if he was. No, so I'm sitting there and okay, so step back for a second.
Please say you didn't get aroused.
No. But when I was 16, the first date I went on was with a 14-year-old, right? And so that has kind of plagued my brain. I mean, 16 to 14 is not Roy Moore. I'm not saying that I should feel
and you
dirty.
You did not have. You did not have sexual relations with this 14-year-old.
I didn't kiss her. No, she had sex with somebody else on our second date.
What?
It's a long story.
Jesus.
But. And I think that's for whatever it's worth. I had a lot of guilt about that whole thing. I think my friends tried to set me up with her because she was a girl that they perceived to be quote unquote easy.
Oh,
right. And she became a very good friend of mine, and she was very sexually active. I hate that I have that perception that that's the reason they said, Chris, this should be your first date. Go on a date with her. It'll be great.
It'll be great.
And it was not great, but we had a good friendship afterwards.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
But anyway, so
why does this have anything to do with the course?
I was 16, she was 14, so that enters into my head whenever I hear stuff about Roy Moore or 14-year-olds or whatever. Because I'm naturally guilty, I go, oh wow,
you didn't do anything wrong. A, you didn't have sex with her, and B,
I was only 16.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but anyway, so I'm sitting there at the chorus concert, and I'm doing the math in my head, and when the 8th graders get up there, I go, all right, so not all of these girls and guys are gonna be 14, but some of them are probably 13, on the cusp of 14. There might be some 14-year-olds in there, and I just want to observe for a second, and I was so disgusted sitting there and thinking about fucking Roy Moore. A man of whatever age, was he in his 40s when he
was 30s?
He was in his 30s. But fuck, man, those. It's just try to process that fucking whole bit of business while watching 14-year-olds sing Christmas songs. I mean, it's bad enough just to imagine a fucking 30-year-old going after a 14-year-old, but they're just up there singing. They're fucking middle school students performing for, and he's fucked one of them.
You know what, Chris?
It bothered me a lot.
You know what I've been doing lately? I've been not being on social media.
I haven't been on social media.
I've avoided Twitter. Like I've avoided Twitter for about 3 or 4 days now, and I actually my demeanor's been slightly better because of it. As well as I've been avoiding news sites, and so I've kind of like taken like the idea, like avoiding things like Roy Moore,
right?
Just because he's a fucking terrible person. We all know it. Well, people that listen to the show know it.
Yes.
But like I think the things that were really getting me down were like looking at all these bad things that were happening, and being completely unable to do anything about it.
Exactly. Yeah.
And what I like, so what we need to do if we need to make change or like is to do things locally. So the only thing, because we can have like at least a small bit of control over like, our town governments. You can go to the Chelmsford Town Hall meetings, or I can go to the Maynard ones, and we can
and then
have our voice be actually heard by like our elected officials.
Right. And eventually, the people that we elect there and that we support there, if they're good people, might rise up through the ranks, and they might have some effect on a grander scale.
Right. So yeah, I mean, we can't affect things like that. We can't like luckily, Roy Moore wasn't elected, and so hopefully he will just fade off. And him and Steve Bannon will go take a trip on a boat or something like that and get lost at sea. That would be the most ideal situation.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah.
I have not been on social media for a week because I still haven't seen Star Wars.
Oh God!
And so
yours is for different reasons. Mine's for like mental health.
No, but I've had the same effect. The fact that I haven't been on Twitter or Facebook. I've been on Instagram.
But Instagram is typically just pictures.
Yeah, typically just pictures. And
mostly my Instagram, which is I think I only follow like puppies.
Yeah, it's cute pictures.
But I don't even have Instagram on my phone. It's just Becky made me an account so she could tag me in things.
Oh, okay. But at any rate, I've been on Instagram because I'm not getting spoiled on anything, and I'm seeing pictures. I like pictures. And I've had a similar thing where I haven't been as stressed out about that, which is great because I've been so stressed out at work. I haven't been stressed out about the world as much. Although I haven't avoided the news sites. One of the things that I've done is because usually I would get my news through Twitter or Facebook, mostly through Twitter. I don't even want to be on Facebook, but that's a whole other subject. But because I was not on either of those, I would very carefully go over to the news sites, avoiding the entertainment section, and so I was still getting a bit of the stress of knowing what the hell was happening in the wider world. But I don't know. So I worked fucking hard until yesterday, and then I went out Christmas shopping.
You worked hard for the money.
Yeah. But I should address as follow-up to last time. We talked about the Nintendo Switch.
Is this why you're saying fuck video games?
We could go in two different directions. Yeah, Christmas technology. We kind of talked about just to wrap a bow on this. No, it's not necessarily why I'm saying fuck video games. Fuck video games is slightly separate. I don't know. I've got a whole bunch of things on my mind, Steve. What should I talk about, or should I just shut up and let you?
I mean, you didn't buy the Switch, and we can just. How about we just tie that one up?
Yeah. Okay. So,
and then maybe in the future you'll get one like for a birthday or something else, or maybe just because project just because. I used to work at a place called Lonza in Hopkinton, and I was in Milford recently.
Yeah.
And so I drove through Hopkinton, and I like where our old building was is a charity called Project Just Because.
Oh.
And it used to be across the street from where we were.
Yeah.
And now it is where we were.
It has grown. Or is it grown or shrunk in order to go?
I don't know. I don't know how big their building was over there.
Oh, okay.
But we had a nice little warehouse area where we had a bunch of the engineering stuff and whatnot. Okay. And I don't know.
Just because.
Because I brought up Project Just Because. It's a charity. I suppose it's good, but I don't know if it's actually good.
At some point we might, but I think what it came down to is I had one. This was a really weird fucking week, but I had one understanding of a conversation that Stephanie and I had on Sunday before because you and I recorded on Monday, and I had one understanding of the conversation, which is why I came on the show and asked you for advice about the Switch, and she had a totally different understanding of the conversation, which was that there was no way in hell we were going to do it because she and my mother were right that the kids might use it for a couple of months and then it would just sit there and collect dust. So she did not want me to go and get it, and so we were back to.
So if you get it for yourself and not for them,
right? And
if they like it and enjoy it, cool. If not, then it's still something that you bought.
And so this is what it came back to, is that at this point in my life, I could have still gone and gotten it for myself, right? But I'm feeling this need to narrow down and focus on the things that really I've been getting more reading time lately, and I love that I'm getting more reading time. I've been getting more time to watch things lately, and I love that. And I feel like at this point, introducing a game system to my life is just like going to distract me. And my limited personal time is that I'm finally figuring out how to use to do enjoyable things is going to distract me.
All right, well then maybe...
And there isn't a game that I am dying to play.
Well then definitely don't spend $300 on something that you're not dying to get.
Yeah, I feel like there might soon be. I feel like I look at the stuff that's coming out and that they put out, and there might eventually be something that I'm dying to play. I really would like to play the Marvel Lego game, but I don't know. Every time I've bought one of those, it's like what's that phrase? I think I'm gonna play it, but I bought we bought the Lord of the Rings one. I never played it. We bought
Why don't you play the Lord of the Rings one then?
The Harry Potter one. Well, it's on the Wii, which I never fucking turn on.
But you can turn it on still.
I could.
If it still works, you can play it.
At any rate,
if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
So yeah, I didn't get a Switch, but I did get instead, because it was like I really wanted to
an
get
SNES Classic. Did you find one?
No. I went and I at the Apple Store. I bought my Apple Watch. I flip flop back around.
Oh, so look at that!
I'm gonna get an Apple Watch. It's not on today. It's gonna be under the tree. But yeah. So I went back to that because my health is one thing that I'm thinking a lot about, especially monitoring my my heart rate. And breathing and stuff like that. And if I manage to get back into exercise, great. But otherwise, I really just I want to, if my heart rate suddenly spikes because I'm panicking, I would like to be made aware of it. And
yeah, well, that might actually be a double-edged sword, because if you're
so, yeah, it might just make it worse.
When I was having I have a weird heart thing every once in a while, and I had it once.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what it was, and I know how to deal with it now.
Yeah.
But I didn't back then, and because I didn't know how to deal with it, and it was happening, I was getting a panic attack on top of it, and it was making it worse. So
yeah.
Well,
we did
saying
we did get an elliptical machine. So fitness is a theme for us this time around, and so and I would like to not bring my phone with me everywhere. Right? So, I was wearing a pair of pajama pants yesterday with no pockets. And I wanted to be notified if I got a phone call or a text message, but I didn't have any place to put my fucking phone. Now, if I had the watch...
Are you going to call everybody Chief when you talk to somebody on your watch? Come in, Chief.
I think I am now. All right. So anyway, that's what I ended up doing. I got a watch for myself. Which I might have to return now because I have to fix my kid's iPad. I don't know. That's all stuff to worry about afterwards. But fuck video games. Here's why I said fuck video games.
Yeah, I want to know. This is the part that I actually wanted to hear.
So I do like to play games, and so I put some. I like to play games on my phone, and I put some new games on my phone.
I like to play the drums. I think I'm getting good, but I can handle criticism. I'll show you what I know, and you can tell me if you think that I'm getting better on the drums.
What is that?
It's from They Might Be Giants.
Oh, okay. So I think I've talked in the past about my love for Civilization, Sid Meier's Civilization. And I was addicted to Civ 5 for a very long time, and I really wanted to play Civ 6. And I think I've talked about this in the show, but Civ 6 requires a 1 gigabyte video card, a video card with 1 gigabyte of video RAM.
What kind of like crazy animations are going on? That you need to have like on a on a fucking strategy game.
I don't fucking know, but that's what they want. So my desktop machine, my iMac, has the graphics card just below the one that they require. It has a processor that's way better than what they require. It has plenty of hard drive space. It has a fast SSD in it to run the game off of. Wow. It just doesn't have the good enough graphics.
Just get the original Civ.
I have Civ 5. I can still play Civ 5. It works fine. It's just I can't have the new hotness, right? All right. So I get this laptop earlier this year, right? This laptop has a video card, even though it's a mobile machine. It has a video card that will play the game. It has a slightly too slow processor. So my laptop, which is brand new, also can't play Civ 6. You know what can play Civ 6 as of 2 days ago?
What?
My wife's iPad, which used to be my iPad, which I gave to her when I got this laptop. And now they've come out with a version of their fucking game that can play on a goddamn iPad, but it can't play on either of my two fucking amazing computers.
They don't care about Apple users.
It wouldn't. If I booted into Windows on either of these computers, it also wouldn't work. I've looked into that. I've looked. What are the Windows system requirements?
No, but like PCs tend to have different, No,
but what I'm saying is these are pretty good. I could wipe the Mac OS off of here and run Windows in here to be a pretty fucking good Windows machine.
I'll give you a pretty good fucking Windows machine.
Still wouldn't play their fucking game.
Well, I think
fuck
that's
video games.
No, that is not fuck video games. That is fuck PC games or fuck fucking computer games. Because if you can't, like, if you have a brand new computer, if people have a brand new laptop or something like that and can't play your fucking game, then you're fucking dumb.
Yeah, the iPad is also it's a couple years old. It's an iPad Air 2. They somehow figured out a way to optimize for iOS so that it could play on a fucking iPad Air 2, but it can't play on this 2017 fucking MacBook Pro.
So, like, this is why...
What the fuck is wrong with them?
This is why I've been a console gamer for as long as I have, as opposed to some sort of, like, computer gamer, because, like...
But I suck at console games. I've always been better at those kind of... I was good at SimCity, or at least enjoyed it.
You could play SimCity on Super Nintendo.
I was good at Civ. I did play like the occasional basketball game or whatever, but I played on the computer. But
like these games, like as long as my Nintendo is working or whatever machine that I have, like these games will. I am actually pointing at games. These games will work,
right?
Like in those systems or whatever. The battery in it, which is probably 15, 20 years old at this point. Yeah. Actually, more than that. Shit. Like I think Crystallis there, Crystallis. That I think was a 92. So fuck 20.
Yeah.
25.
It has a battery in it.
Yeah, it has a battery backup.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
For saving games. And so is Super Mario World and most fucking games.
Yep.
So like those will still work.
Right.
Like in those systems, like, and you can get new systems like that fucking Retron thing.
Yeah.
And
it'll play them.
Yeah. Yeah. But like when you like there's a new system out, that this game will play on that machine.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I think the one thing that
I mean, that's why that's why I'm not a console gamer, but I like playing mobile games because I know that for the most part, as long as I have one of the most recent 2 or 3 iOS phones, it'll play on those, right? Yes, they come out with things that occasionally need higher processing power on the graphics card or on the processor, but they don't obsolete things for pretty much the same amount of time that consoles exist. So like, anyway. I don't it's part of the reason and I was listening to a show recently where there's a guy, Merlin Mann, who I've talked about before, and he's your favorite. He's my favorite.
Your favorite boy.
He's the person who I listen to podcasts for. And he was on here and he was talking to 2 younger people who were trying to get him into a game. and it wasn't working, and he kept coming
It wasn't
back.
working. The game wasn't working, or it wasn't working. He wasn't liking the game.
He wasn't liking the game.
Okay.
And the way they were talking about it, like, he just kept coming back to this thing that I think is really true, which is that video gaming is not welcoming to people who aren't like supremely dedicated to it and haven't been supremely dedicated. I don't think casual gaming is a thing, except for every once in a while you get something like the Wii, where casual gaming was, that's why my mom bought a Wii at the same time that we bought it. Like,
we bought a Wii.
That we bought a Wii, or she got it the year after. But
like there. I don't know. There are different levels of playing a game. Like you could for like playing the Breath of the Wild, like there are speedrunners that will attempt to beat that game in less than I think the world record is like 40 something minutes. It might even be even less than that at this point. And like I played that game for 3 months and got everything in it. Yeah. And now that like they're coming out with expansion packs, I'm like, no, thank you. I am done playing this game. Thank you. Yeah. But there aren't like not everybody's going to be like me and be like, I got to do every shrine. I got to get all the things. I gotta fucking find all the little like tree poops. Yeah. Like people don't need to do that. So you can play the game, you can enjoy it, you can beat it, like you can do all the things that are necessary for the story, but not have to like freaking go like completely off the rails.
And I feel like
collecting stuff.
I'm somewhere in the middle there. What I don't like, and what I'm finding, I was just saying this. I don't. Hopefully, I can connect this thought. I was reading this morning, and
shut up! No way.
I've been reading this book by Michelle Knudsen. I might be called Evil Librarian. And Michelle teaches at the program where I shouldn't. She teaches at an MFA program that I have some relationship with.
So people are going to have to do a slight bit of research to figure out where you work. By Googling one person's name.
Right. But anyway, so I'm reading it, but I'm reading it fairly slowly by the standards of like other people I see on Instagram, on Goodreads, and whatever, and how fast they read fucking books. And so I say to Stephanie, like, what is wrong with me that like I can't? And we had a little conversation, and it's the same. I am not interested in speeding through everything. It's the same reason that like I can't binge watch TV shows. It's the reason that I don't watch a movie while doing other things. So I'm sort of like your approach to the game in the sense that I want to get everything out of it that I can, but I'm not as obsessed with getting like every minute thing. But I'm closer to where you are than the speedrunners who just want to get through.
No, but speedrunning is like there are different ways you can speedrun a game. There you can speedrun a game and get everything in the game. Right. I don't know what the record is for Breath of the Wild for 100%ing that. Can't. I think it might be more than a day. Yeah. And that would be just ridiculous, like because you basically have
3 months, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, but like. If you're the kind of person that has like the well, actually, I imagine you would have like absurd amounts of notes or whatever, just to be like, this is the route that I'm going to be able to get all the things that I need to get as quickly as possible. Yeah, but. Yeah, I mean, but for other games, it's more reasonable to have like 100%. Like, I guess the point, like Super Mario World, you can beat that game. I mean, I've beaten that game in less than an hour, which is probably not that fast. But like, there are people out there that have like beat Super Mario World, like all the levels in a pretty quick amount of time. Yeah, and that's 100%ing. And like, and then there's like people that play and they allow glitches, so you can like get out of like the area you're in and get like past a level without actually having to beat the level and shit like that. And then there's glitchless runs, all sorts of other things. Right. The world of speed runs is there. Well, check it out. And it's usually they do it for charity. So
yeah, I mean, I guess the thing that I'm coming around to is that I'm happy that for those things that cause other people enjoyment, but I don't know. I need to stop feeling guilty about not enjoying life the same way that everyone else is enjoying life.
Right, Chris. You have to enjoy.
That was really profound. I just realized that on the podcast.
Yeah, that was good. Like you know what you like, and like you don't have to be like other people.
Are you sure? Because I'm pretty sure I do have to be like everybody else.
Nope. If you like things the way you like them, then that's cool, Chris. Yeah. And don't let anybody else tell you otherwise, unless the things you like are really gross and illegal.
Yeah. Well, here's something that I like that I hadn't seen in a really long time was a movie called That Thing You Do. And so yesterday,
I don't know why you brought this up, but we talked about it briefly before the show, and I'm like, I'm still okay. So let's go.
Okay, so yesterday after I worked from 8 until noon, and then I went out and Christmas shopped from like 1 until 4 or 5. I came home and I'm just flipping around on the TV. And I had recently picked up a copy on iTunes of That Thing You Do, which was available for $5. I was like, well, I used to own this movie on VHS. I loved it. Let me buy it for $5. And I'm just flipping around. I'm like, you know what? I got 2 hours to kill. It's not quite, dinner will be here in a little bit. Nobody's watching anything on the TV. Let me put on something I really dig. And so I put it on, and I have a lot of fun watching it. It's fucking Tom Hanks is 40 in that movie, so I'm watching Tom Hanks and realizing like, oh fuck, he's Tom Hanks's wife is 40 in that movie, and she's like a barmaid and dressed really.
Barmaid?
Yeah, well, she's.
I don't remember the movie. Like
she's a waitress, but
she's a wench, is what you're saying.
Well, she's in a really skimpy outfit. She's hitting on the drummer from the band, and then he realizes that one of his heroes is in the bar, and she completely loses him. But she is a very fine-looking woman in that movie, and I did not realize at the time that I saw it that she was 42. And so I'm 40 now. My wife is 40. I'm having this moment of being like, holy shit! Like 40 is not as old as it was when I was 20. Like,
right? Look at that, Chris.
Yeah. Oh my God, things I'm realizing.
So what?
But here's the other thing that I realized.
What is that?
As I was finishing up That Thing You Do, is that the bass player in the movie, whose name is TB Player, that is the name of the character, is TB Player, which I guess is there's a whole backstory behind it. They were making fun of the fact that almost nobody knows who the bass player is in band, like, so he's just TB Player, is played by an actor named Ethan Embry.
Which I thought, when you first brought him up earlier, I thought you were talking about a Red Sox player, but I think that was Alan Embry.
Yeah, something like that. So Ethan Embry is in another of the movies that I picked up for $5 the other day, which was Can't Hardly Wait. Have you seen that film?
I have seen that film.
Okay. So in that film, Ethan Embry is the main character, and he's a blonde. He's got blonde kind of curly hair, and he's obsessed with Jennifer Love Hewitt. And he's trying to get with her. Well, Seth Green is trying to get with the girl from 6 Feet Under. I don't know. There's a lot. It's a lot of fun.
Well, he's not trying to get to, but I think they get locked in the bathroom.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, yeah. And they play Paradise City by Guns N' Roses at some point.
And then what is the nerdy guy? Yeah. Like they were trying to like bust up the party, like or get revenge on the jocks or whatever.
Yeah. It's a
90s
version of an 80s movie.
Yeah, a 90s version of an 80s movie with as many like cliches as you could possibly imagine.
But it's fun.
I'm not saying that it's not, Chris.
So he's in those two movies within a year of each other. In That Thing You Do, he comes off as more of maybe a college kid, but he's able to age-wise play a high school kid in That Thing. In Can't Hardly Wait.
I mean, if I was an actor in like the early aughts, I think I could have played a high school person.
Yeah, I probably could have too. Yeah, it was
like we like somebody. I showed a picture of me from like college in 2002 or something like that, and I look like a little boy.
But I realized this Ethan Embry was really, really all over everything for a couple of years there. Ethan Embry was also in a movie
you
called...
You have his filmography
Empire Records. He was in a movie called Empire Records around that same time. And so Empire Records was 1995, Can't Hardly Wait was 98, and That Thing You Do was 96. Anyway, he does a whole bunch of shit there, and then he disappears, Ethan Embry does. And the next time he shows up in anything that I am aware of is when he is balding, and he shows up as a not a fairy tale creature, not even cool enough to be fucking like Pinocchio or like Little Boy Blue or something like that. He's a human being on Once Upon a Time.
Oh.
That's the next time I see anything from fucking Ethan Embry, and he looks like he's 50.
Is he 50?
No, I mean he was. When was he born? 1978. So
he's a year younger, or a year older than me, and a year younger than you.
Yeah, and here he is showing up on Once Upon a Time, balding, receding hairline. This kid who used to be like good enough for Jennifer Love Hewitt and playing bass in The Wonders, the Oneaters, and he was in Empire Records as a little kid. He's a fucking balding old man on my wife's one of my wife's stories.
So she watches the. She Becky gave up, and I'm so glad.
Steph did give up, but now she's been rewatching them, and I don't know if it's because she's gonna try to get back into it. I'm like, you are out.
That was her guilty pleasure, and I would, I wouldn't mind, because usually when she's watching something that I don't care about, I can put more attention into whatever game I'm playing and not have to worry about like any of the crap that's going on.
Yeah. Anyway, so I was like, what happened to Ethan Embry? That was one thought that was going through there. But the other thought that was going through there is, look at all the fucking people that are in That Thing You Do. Now, That Thing You Do is right after.
You love this fucking movie, man.
I was rewatching. I didn't remember any of these things, and then I pulled up the IMDb as I'm.
David watching. Pumpkin was in it.
No, fucking Bryan Cranston is. is in That Thing You Do for 10 seconds.
We were watching Gremlins 2 this past week.
Yeah.
And there's what was it? What the fuck is the name of the actor? The guy that plays Hank in Breaking Bad.
Fuck. I don't know.
But he was in one scene for like 1 second. I think he had one line.
Yeah.
He was in Gremlins 2, and the guy who plays Mike in Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, he was in the first Gremlins as one of the cops.
Yeah.
So I was like, wow.
Hank is Dean Norris.
Dean Norris, yeah. He was very young in 1989 or 1990 when they made Gremlins 2.
Mike is Jonathan Banks.
Yeah, and he was a younger man too in like the mid 80s when the first Gremlins was out.
It's like, so anyway, Tom Hanks was on a roll. He'd done Forrest Gump, he'd done Apollo 13, and I guess the story is when he wanted to write and produce and direct this fucking movie about a band in the 60s, he's like, you guys kind of just gotta let me do whatever I want. And the studio was like, yep, you're right. And so he's got like everybody fucking the other guy from Bosom Buddies is also in That Thing You Do for like 10 seconds.
Cousin Larry?
They
oh wait, no.
I
was thinking about
Peter Scolari.
Oh, okay.
So. They let him bring him back.
That's nice.
Charlize Theron is in That Thing You Do for about 15 minutes.
How old was she then?
Let's see. That movie came out in 96. Charlize Theron was born in 75, so she's 21.
Oh, okay. So she was, but she was still young.
Yeah, but she is playing the.
She always looked good, except in that movie where she was trying not to look.
When
good.
She was trying, yeah. But she's playing the drummer's girlfriend in the early going, and like has a little competitive thing going for his heart with Liv Tyler, but it's Charlize Theron, and she's not the lead. She's the other girl who's gonna get written out of the story and go have sex with her dentist.
What?
It's a subplot in the movie.
Maybe I've never seen this fucking movie. I think the song made me not want to see the movie.
Chris Isaac is in that movie.
Nice.
Like the Wicked Game guy.
Oh, I don't want to fall in love.
Kevin Pollak is in that movie for like 10 seconds. And it's just like Clint Howard is in the movie for 10 seconds. I mean, fucking...
People love putting Clint Howard in things.
Jonathan Demme, the director, is in the movie for about 10 seconds playing movie director. But it's just... everywhere you turn, there were famous people in there for like 10 seconds, whatever. It was crazy.
I can imagine.
But it's not the best movie ever made, but it's a fun little flick.
But Ethan Embry, like, people age differently, Chris. We like, you know, if I shaved off my beard, you know, I'd probably look younger than I am. I mean, I still get carded now.
Yeah.
That, like, I'm getting creeping up on 40 myself.
Yeah.
So, like, we still look young for our age.
Yeah. It's just now I can't help but go back and look at those movies and see his receding hairline, even as TV player and as what's his.
Remember like a couple weeks ago when I went to the reunion and I was like, it was like everybody I used to know with less hair.
Yeah. It's. I mean, yeah, it happens. I don't know. It's just disturbing to me. Ethan Embry, man, like I wanted more for that guy. I mean. They're not going to have a fucking Can't Hardly Wait a reunion, you know, like they did for fucking American Pie. You know, those guys had a reunion, but Can't Hardly Wait.
No, well, like, I mean, that was just a movie called American Reunion.
I know. Well, yes, but it had all the people came back as a reunion when they were, you know.
Yeah, but Tom Hanks isn't going to be like, oh my God, like, people are clamoring for another Can't Hardly Wait. Or wait.
Well, I mean, I'm mixing things up
that thing you do.
That thing you do in the 70s. Yeah, it'd be great to see what happens.
Actually, I Can't Hardly Wait, like, reunion movie might, like a 20-year reunion movie might actually be entertaining.
Oh, like a Can't Hardly, that would be the Can't Hardly Wait. No, Can't Hardly Wait, that would be now. Yeah, like 20 years. Yeah, that could be good.
Yeah, I mean, fucking any Hollywood producers right now.
What the hell else is Ethan Embry doing?
Get Alan Embry in there and Ethan Embry. He'll throw some softballs or some whatever.
What? So wait, who would you have to get back? Now I'm curious. Can't Hardly Wait. You'd have to get him, and you'd have to get Jennifer Love Hewitt. She's just making fucking Hallmark movies, right?
Yeah. So she'd probably be like, "Cool, I'll be in a Hollywood picture."
Yeah, she'd do it. Where the fuck's this movie?
Where the fuck is this movie?
Can't Hardly Wait. Here we go. Can't Hardly Wait.
We just don't want to have it.
Seth Green.
We want to get we want it to be above board here. No, like, casting couch nonsense.
Yeah. Charlie Korsmo is an assistant professor of law and the U.S. director of the Canada-U.S. Law Institute at the Case Western Reserve University School of Law, where he teaches courses in corporate law. Yeah, so you got to get him to come out of retirement. The dorky guy needs to come out of retirement from being a lawyer and a professor of law. Lauren Ambrose, you need to get her. I don't know what she's doing. What was the last thing she was in? She was in 6 Feet Under. I think I was right about that. She was in the X-Files reboot. She's been doing shit. So, like, she's still working. Peter Fasinelli, I don't know who the fuck he is.
But you could get all these people. I think you could probably get all these people to get back together and do a reunion.
I mean, Seth Green's probably, you know, he might be a hard get.
Oh yeah, because of fucking Robot Chicken.
Yeah,
Family Guy,
and playing Howard the Duck. You know, he's Donald Faison was in that movie from.
I thought it was
Scrubs.
Donald Faison.
Jamie Presley, that might be hard.
Jamie Presley or Jamie Kennedy?
Jamie Presley.
She was the one that was in My Name Is Earl.
Yes. Yeah.
If her last television or last credit is a television one, I think you can get her to be
Jason
in the movie.
Segel.
Oh wow, he was. Oh wow.
Yes. Selma Blair hasn't been in anything recently. Yeah. So I mean, there's a couple that would be. Jenna Elfman was in it though.
Was she like the...
She was like a I don't know if she was a stripper or she was.
Oh yeah.
She was dressed as like an angel.
And he was going to go off to, like, Vonnegut School.
Oh, you know what's going to be the hardest, though? Is Melissa Joan Hart. She's got a ton of shit going on.
Ha!
Anyway, now I got to go watch that movie when I get home. Actually, no, I'm going to watch Star Wars as soon as we get out of here. Well,
you got 2 hours.
I got to console my daughter and her broken iPad.
And then you have to...
And maybe I'll get to see Star Wars. Or maybe everyone will just be so upset that we're not going to go. We spent $90 on tickets for 7 of us, and we're just not going to go see it.
I'll go see it again. Oh, wait, no, I got to go to a
Wait,
party.
You're not supposed to spoil it for me. The fact that you go see it again, that's a spoiler.
I'd go to see it again if it was free.
I know you went and saw Phantom Menace twice, so
yeah,
or more than twice. You kept going.
Yeah, I saw it a third time up in
maybe it's going to be better this
time.
Up
in Littleton, New Hampshire, at their little theater up there. I don't know if they still have one up there, but went to see that, and I remember I think a friend of mine was very high when we went to see that movie that time, and then there was this like,
well, that person certainly enjoyed it more.
Yeah, he might have, and there was like a big long neck Jedi in the background of some of the shots, like when they're in like the Jedi Council room with
I remember that
with
Jedi
Mace Windu and all that, and there was some long neck thing. It was like
say midi-chlorians one more time.
That is a tasty fucking.
That is a tasty Sith burger.
That is a tasty glass of blue milk.
Where do you get this glass of blue milk?
He does these impressions.
My Aunt Beru made it.
Okay, so I forget what I was saying. Oh yeah,
he was high. He was high.
And he saw this fucking weird neck, and it was like the way his head was moving side to side was making him laugh like uncontrollably. And he just lost his shit laughing at that fucking thing, and Hey, that was the best part of the movie. Although
it's the best part of the movie, and I ain't even high when I watch it.
Like I think like the Red Letter Media guys brought that character up. I don't know what he's actually called, but like I think he would be very vulnerable to a lightsaber.
He's not Plo Koon, is he? No, Plo Koon's somebody else, right? Who is the
Kit Fisto?
Kit Fisto? No, it might be Kit Fisto had the dreads, right?
Yeah, Kit Fisto was the.
No, Plo Koon is the guy with like a fucking. He's got like a mask or some shit.
How much show do we have left?
We got nothing. We're done.
Oh, good.
I was just trying. I was trying to really like figure out what Jedi.
I'm like we're coasting into the new year on fumes here.
Yeah. And so, but next week we'll be able to talk. Assuming I get to go see the movie.
And I think it's long enough that people that are gonna see it will have already seen it, like in a theater. If not,
well, one of the other shows I listened to, he said the same thing. He's like, listen. You got to see it before New Year because my New Year's show is going to be about Star Wars. Like, and you can skip that one if you want if you haven't seen it yet. But
we could write and you could write on the show notes like when we start talking about spoilers and when you could skip to or something like that. We'll have to make sure we record early enough that you have enough time to do that. So and if not, then go fuck yourself. Yeah. Well, I'm saying that to the listeners.
Yeah, I'm not going to go fuck myself. That's my dick isn't that long.
Okay, that's nice to know.
You can find the show notes for this episode at clarkwoods.com/hot/178. If you have anything to comment on, you can send us an email to hot@clarkwoods.com, or you can tweet us. Although Tweev's not on Twitter.
It's not like I deleted the app. Right. Every time I open it, I'm like, fuck no, and I close it before it opens up. Because it's more like muscle memory. I'm like, okay, I'm out of stamina on Treasure's Cruise. I guess I'll check out what's going on Twitter, and then no. But if you mention me, I'll get like a notification.
Yeah, you get a little buzz in your pocket.
Yeah. So and then I'll just look at that one thing, and I'll be like, thank you, or I'll be like, I hate you, and die, or whatever.
So, but if you want to do that, you gotta hit at ECC1977 for me, or you gotta hit
at Tuesday is loser. That's Tuesday is loser, all one word.
You gotta hit it.
You gotta hit the fucking. You gotta do that, or
you gotta hit it.
You could DM me. Is that
you gotta hit you in the DM with a BM.
Yuck.